Good evening. This is Sunday evening. I have had a wonderful day today. I went kayaking for 5 hours on Roskilde Fjord, and I went from Salvad Park to Roskilde. I'm gonna show you on the map. Come with me. You see, here is the map. Let's see. I went from here, Salvad Park, and then kayaked the way down, all the way down here to the bottom of the fjord, down to Roskilde. You see. And then I took a little bit of a break, like half an hour break down in Roskilde. And then I went all the way back to Salvad Park. And it was an amazing, really an amazing kayaking trip. I enjoyed it so much. I think it's the longest I've ever kayaked in one day. It was just wow. 5 hours. I enjoyed it so much. But anyway, there was a story I wanted to tell you. I just got to think about a story. It is from back in 1988 when I was traveling Australia. I had been traveling all the way up along the east coast, and I went inside to Alice Springs and Ayers Rock and all the way to Darwin. And in Darwin I stayed for a while. I enjoyed Darwin so much. It was really nice, a very nice place. It was very relaxing. I stayed at a guest house up there and made some great friends, and I went to stay at a farm, and I'm gonna tell you that story another time because that's not the story I want to talk about now. After staying at that farm, I went back down and back out to the east coast and back down to Sydney. Sorry. And when I got to Sydney, I changed my ticket. My ticket was like an open ticket, so I could go to the office and fly home and tell them I wanted to fly home anytime I wanted to. And I had been in Australia for 4 months, and I decided it was time to go back home. So I went to the office and changed my ticket, and it was all good. And then after I had been at that office, they by the way, I need to tell you, they told me that I could fly home 5 days later. And so that meant I had 5 days in Sydney. I had to, well, be in the big town Sydney for 5 days. And as you guys probably know, I'm not all that about big towns. So it was kind of a, how am I gonna do this? But anyway, I figured, well, I just have to enjoy it as much as I can. So right after I walked out from the office, I went down to Circular Quay and the area of the Sydney Opera House. As you might know, Jørgen Utzon, the architect of Sydney Opera House, he's from Denmark. And well, I wanted to go see that. And as I was walking on Circular Quay, I hear some music. And I looked, and it was this street musician. He had an instrument. It was very easily to see. It was homemade. It was like a hollowed out log. And it was polished. It looked very nice. It got strings, and he was using it as a drum as well. And he was playing the strings. And it was really an interesting sound. And he also sometimes was singing. But, so I found it interesting. So I sat down on a bench nearby and listened to his music, and I enjoyed it. But while I was sitting there, I was looking around and no one else stopped. No one noticed this guy. They were just walking right past him like he was not there. The guy, he was, I don't know, maybe he was homeless or something. He had a long beard, he long hair, he looked kind of dirty, and people just didn't see him. Of course they saw him, but they didn't want to see him, so they just ignored him. But I found his music so interesting and nice, so I just stayed and looked and listened. And after a little while, I think there was 3 Japanese girls. They came walking, and one of them, she told her friends, like, well, I didn't understand what she said because it was in Japanese, but it was from her body language. I kind of figured that she told her friends to stay there, and she wanted to do something. These kids, they were like, well, 18, 19, 20 year old, I think. And this girl, she walked over and said something to the guy who was playing. And he looked surprised, like, and then she said something more to him. And then he started playing again. And then she started dancing in front of him. And it was just incredible to see the change, because after she started dancing, and she was amazing to look at, because the way she was dancing matched his music completely, like if they had been performing together for 20 years. And after she started dancing, people stopped and looked. People started giving coins, and it was like, when he was alone, no one saw him. But when this girl was dancing and performing in front of him, people started noticing. They saw her. She was a nice looking girl, and they gave him money. And she stayed there and danced to his music for 10-15 minutes or so. And then she stopped dancing, turned around, shook his hand, gave him some coins, and walked away with her friends. And this guy, I'm sure that in those 10-15 minutes that she was dancing, he made more money than he had made all week. Because all of a sudden, well, people noticed them. People saw that, well, they saw the girl. And then they wanted to give. I think she did not have a lot of money to give him, but she gave him her time. So because of that, because of her giving him some time, and because of the attention that she got from people walking by, he made a lot of money. And in my world, the kindness of this girl, she gave him attention, and no one else did. Well, it was amazing. It really was. Um, I I I was stunned after watching that, and obviously I gave him some money as well, and walked off. But it was just like, wow, you know. Sometimes you don't have to give a lot of money. Sometimes you don't have to give. Sometimes attention is enough. Sometimes it's enough to just, yeah. Like in Poland, I don't know if I told you this. I don't remember. But in Poland, it was I was hitchhiking around Poland with the Canadian guy I met on the boat from Denmark to Poland, and we had been eating our breakfast. It was early morning. We just walked out from the place where we had been camping for the night, and we had found a grocery shop where we bought some bread and milk, and we were sitting in the park eating our breakfast. And at this point, I was full. I was starved. I had half a loaf of bread and a lot of milk, and I was full. I couldn't eat or drink anymore. Um, and same, my friend, he was also starved full, and he still had some left, and I had some left. And we were looking around because it feels bad to throw away food. That's I have a bad feeling about doing that. So I noticed there was an old lady and a little girl sitting on a bench a little bit away from us, and they had a cup on the ground. Obviously, they were beggars. They were begging for money, and I kind of got the attention of them. And then I signaled the girl to come over. And she came over, and I said to my friends, let's give them what we got left. And he was like, yeah, sure. Better than throw it away. They can, maybe they don't want it, he said. Well, let's see. She came over, and we gave her the bread and the milk, and she looked very happy. She was, you know, she was really happy for it. And I guess she said thank you in Polish. I don't speak Polish, so, but then she ran back to her, I guess it was her grandma, a very old lady. And the grandma was very happy too. And right away they started eating the bread and drinking the milk, and we were just sitting there for a little while longer, and then we got up and walked away. And when we were about to walk away, the old lady signaled us. And we were like, oh, okay, let's go see what she wants. And we walked over there. And when we got there to the bench where they were sitting, she said something in Polish. And I didn't understand what it was, but then she got up, and it was not easy for her to get up. She was very old, but she did, and she gave us a hug, each of us. And she didn't have to do that, but she did, and for me that was just wow. I guess that was her way of saying thank you. I enjoyed that very much. But anyway, a couple of small stories. Kindness doesn't cost anything. The Japanese girl in Sydney, she gave the street musician, kindness. She gave him attention. And that way she made him rich. The old lady, we gave the old lady and her grandchild some bread and some milk, and she gave us kindness. It's worth so much. Anyway, it was just this small story I wanted to tell you. I should actually cook dinner now. It's 7 o'clock in the evening, and I'm getting pretty hungry. So I will cook my dinner and enjoy the evening. You guys take care. And life is good. Bye bye.